In March 2011, Japan was struck by one of the greatest natural disasters in history. A massive earthquake deep beneath the Pacific Ocean not only shook Japan, but sent shockwaves around the entire world. This is a story of nature's wrath and humanity's helplessness, but also one of resilience and solidarity. On the morning of March 11th, 2011, people in northeastern Japan woke up to what seemed like a normal day. But at exactly 2:46 p.m., the ground suddenly began to shake. The magnitude 9.1 earthquake ruptured a 500-kilometer fault line beneath the Pacific Ocean, tearing the Earth's crust apart. Some areas of Japan shifted by as much as 2.4 meters. Buildings swayed, roads cracked, and people ran into the streets in panic. But the real nightmare was yet to come. After the earthquake, an eerie silence settled along the coastlines. The ocean waters began to retreat. Children playing on the shore curiously explored the exposed seabed, collecting shells and looking at stranded fish, while the faces of adults froze with fear. This receding water was a chilling sign of what was coming next. A massive tsunami. Within minutes, the waves hit the shore. These were no ordinary waves, but a towering wall of water, some reaching over 15 meters high. Houses, cars, boats, and people were swept away in an instant. The water surged into towns, devouring everything in its path. Panicked residents scrambled to reach higher ground, but the tsunami was far too fast. In Miyagi Prefecture, a father clutching his child ran desperately towards safety, only to be engulfed by the waves. Witnesses later recounted the haunting screams of people and the deafening roar of the water, a sound they said they would never forget. The tsunami didn't strike just once. As the water receded, it surged back again, each time with even greater force. In Miyagi Prefecture, an entire school was wiped out. Children tried to escape their classrooms as water poured in with terrifying speed. Survivors say they can still hear the horrifying sound of debris crashing against walls and buildings collapsing. Families searched desperately through the wreckage, hoping to find their loved ones alive. But the disaster didn't end with the physical destruction. The tsunami severely damaged the Fukushima nuclear power plant, leading to a radioactive leak. Thousands of residents were forced to evacuate their homes, and the nuclear crisis posed a long-term threat to life in the area. The effects of this disaster would haunt Japan for years to come. The tsunami claimed the lives of over 15,000 people, with more than 2,500 still missing. Thousands of families lost everything, left with only memories and ruins. Yet amidst the devastation, the world came together to help Japan heal. Global solidarity and support flowed in, and the Japanese people began the long process of rebuilding their communities. But the scars of this tragedy remain. The 2011 Japan tsunami was a stark reminder of how powerful and destructive nature can be. But it also showed the resilience of the human spirit, the strength of unity, and the determination to rebuild. No matter how small we may seem in the face of nature's fury, with hope and solidarity, we can overcome any disaster. The tsunami didn't come in a single wave. It retreated and struck again, each time with greater force. In Miyako City, the waves surged over a 10-meter seawall, which residents had believed would protect them. In Tsunami, fires broke out as fuel tanks ruptured, and flaming debris floated atop the floodwaters, turning the town into a sea of fire and water. In the town of Rikuzen-Takata, once home to 23,000 people, nearly everything was wiped off the map. The iconic miracle pine, the only tree left standing in a forest of 70,000, became a symbol of hope amidst the devastation. Elsewhere, survivors clung to rooftops, trees, and anything that could keep them above the rising waters, waiting for rescue that, for many, would never come. As if the tsunami's destruction wasn't enough, another disaster was unfolding. The Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, located along the coast, was directly hit by the waves. Backup generators meant to keep the reactors cool were flooded and failed. Without cooling, the reactors began to overheat, leading to explosions and a catastrophic release of radiation. Tens of thousands of people within a 20-kilometer radius were forced to evacuate, leaving their homes and belongings behind. Entire towns became ghostly exclusion zones, where time seemed to stand still. The nuclear crisis turned the tsunami from a natural disaster into a man-made catastrophe with long-term consequences for the region. The scale of the disaster was staggering. Over 15,000 lives were lost, with more than 2,500 still missing. Hundreds of thousands were displaced, their homes reduced to rubble. In the days that followed, heartbreaking scenes played out across the affected areas. Families searched through